Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Girl Next Door podcast. I'm your host, Sean, aka your number one host. Number one host? Hello, yep. Alright, great start. Your number one source of fashionably late, but occasionally great pop culture takes. Today, we are going to be discussing the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet second trailer. I believe it's the second trailer. But before we get into it, we actually have a couple things. First of all, if you're watching this on YouTube later, I stream every single episode of these on twitch.tv/GirlNextDoor podcast. Feel free to drop a follow, turn your notifications on so you know every single time I go live. You can come join the chat. I almost said you can harass me, but I do not actively welcome that. Although it would be nice to have some audience retention in that sense. I'm just kidding. But yeah, also okay, so if you're here coming off of the algorithm for whatever reason, timestamps in the description. Feel free to skip over all of whatever I'm about to talk about because this is going to be a longer intro. I just have plenty of things that I wanted to sort of get off my chest. So if you don't care about this stuff, this is mostly stream stuff, life update stuff, whatever. You can skip to whatever time that is. But if you value my silly little opinions, I got a couple things to say before we get into it. This is going to be kind of a unique stream in the sense that, so I streamed earlier today to do my live reaction to the Scarlet and Violet trailer reveal. So backstory, I'm stupid and I misread the announcement that said that it's actually going to be at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I thought it said 9 a.m. Pacific time, so I was just oh, okay, so that's noon my time. I'm just gonna have a relaxed morning and I'll be ready to do a live reaction on Twitch at noon. I open up Twitter and I see that everybody's raving about shit. I'm just oh my god. Okay, well I gotta get on this, right? And so I'm just scrambling to get everything together. My brain is not on. That stream was not good. I had so many things go wrong, but I still saved all of it. We're gonna rewatch the at least at the reaction part to it. I'm not sure how much I'm actually allowed to upload this to YouTube. So I think it's going to be a lot of, I think I talk enough through it and pause enough to where it doesn't really constitute any sort of issue with the Pokemon company or whatever the fuck. I don't think that they probably really care unless I was straight up re-uploading the trailer, which I am obviously not. Hopefully everything will be good with that, but it's going to be a little bit of a meta moment because it's watching a past stream of me on my stream. I will be cringing at my own commentary the entire time. It's going to be super gross. I'm going to hate it, but it's better than uploading the original. At least I have control over which parts of the VOD that I show if I do this on stream now instead of uploading the live reaction and then this podcast. But if you're here strictly for just the reaction part, again, timestamps in the description. What else? Okay, so some more I don't want to say boring stuff because this stuff's important to me, and I'm hoping it's sort of important to y'all too. We are still fundraising for the families in Uvalde. As of now, there are, I mean, I opened up Twitter, which was a mistake. There are three other shootings that have happened. I don't know why I'm laughing. It's not a haha funny laughter. It's I'm so flabbergasted and sort of in disbelief kind of gasp, I guess. I don't know. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that in 2022 we're still having these issues. It sort of drives me up the wall if I don't really do or say anything about it. So again, I still have the chat commands !info in order to get some helpful links and some like educational resources, as well as some dono links for, I believe it's everytown.org. And then you can also do !donate. That's going to be, it's going to lead you to like a super list of GoFundMe approved, verified, I guess GoFundMes for like the families that and just the immediate community of Uvalde, in case you want to have like more of a direct impact. Again, if you choose to donate, obviously there's no pressure to, but I figured I'd have it there, like in case you do. As for the YouTube video, I'm also going to have these in the description. What else? Oh yeah, also just preserve your peace during this time. It's a very, I mean, it's always like pretty bleak in this country, but I know for a lot of people like me who are very sensitive to this sort of thing, if you need to take a step away from like social media and like not be super consumed by it as much, that's what I sort of had to do this past weekend. There's nothing inherently wrong with you doing that. I don't want you to feel like you're a bad person for prioritizing your mental health, because at the end of the day, if you're not really helping yourself, it's going to be kind of difficult for you to help other people and feel like you're sort of bringing more positivity into the world. I don't say this from a toxic positivity perspective sort of thing. It's just like, be happy, and that's the only way you're allowed to exist on the internet. Obviously not. But if you're mentally ill like me, then you know, take whatever extra steps you need to maintain your sanity and think about how you want to approach certain things emotionally moving forward. So that's big thing number, technically it's number 2, but I would say for the final thing, it was brought to my attention and I honestly should have seen it coming. Well, okay, this feels like a weird way to preface. I guess I should just say like Happy Pride Month, everybody. I'm really excited for this year. I'm in a completely different headspace than I was last year. I feel, I mean, 2021, I was pretty like depressed. I'm feeling, despite everything feeling very suffocating right now, and there being a lot of dark things in the world that are getting me down, I do feel like a little bit more upbeat than I was last year around this time. I'm hoping I didn't just jinx that by like saying it. But I have like a lot more people in my life who are like really supportive, and I just hope that, you know, whether you're gay, you're lesbian, you're bi, you're pan, you're trans, you're non-binary, you're asexual, you're aromantic, you're agender, literally anything, just know that this is a safe space for you. I love you. We all love you here. People who don't are in the wrong chat and are on the wrong YouTube channel. But with all that being said, though, I did have to sort of confront hopefully a pretty unlikely scenario where I get like hate rated or follow botted. I just had to think about over the past couple of days, okay, well, what are the protective measures that I have in place? I might be kind of stricter on chat, which I don't love because I don't have like any moderators. I feel like I probably shouldn't admit that, but like as of right now, I'm sort of self-modding, and because of that, I do have restrictions up kind of high. I know I love sort of the back and forth I get to have with chat, and I've never had a bad chat interaction like on this channel specifically, but I see it all over the place on like other people's channels. I've seen it with like a lot of my friends. I'm not like completely sheltered to the amount of like bigotry that happens on this platform, especially during Pride Month. And I know that having a queer tag associated with this like stream, I guess, that it is at least vaguely a possibility, especially as a smaller streamer, that visibly does not have a lot of things in place. I just want you to know that I did work to install some things over the weekend. I have like a whole panic button figured out. My thing though was that I wasn't really sure how I was going to approach like I guess like I don't want to say that I'm prioritizing YouTube uploads when I stream these, because I definitely don't. But I do like to take it into consideration, and because of that, if I have like a chat that says something that's like definitely not safe for YouTube, or if it's just like if it becomes sort of distracting to where we're no longer talking about what I wanted to talk about that day, we are just being completely derailed by me having to address like a bunch of like shitty comments, or having to turn off like alerts, or having to go through all that. I don't really want to have to derail that, because for me that makes doing a podcast kind of difficult. So something that I sort of have to throw out as like a preface for this month, and kind of anytime this happens until I get like a better handle on moderating my own chat and figuring out people to sort of help me with it, is that there are going to be times where we are going to see a little chat error. Chat and alerts will be turned off. I want to be prioritizing the content as like a podcast, sort of over like the quality of the stream. Unfortunately, I know that's like not good for me to admit. That definitely sounds bad when I say it like that. But it's like, it's kind of the position that I'm in right now, is that like I'm going to be turning chat and like alerts off for like the overlay. I'll probably freeze to like follower only chat and like verified only accounts. I know that's probably discouraging or can be discouraging for new people, but that's just, sadly, that's like the reality that a lot of these people a lot of bigots are sort of throwing me into. I don't love admitting that. I don't like the idea that in some way that is giving them power, but this is just sort of the solution that I've like landed on. So if I want to be able to stay consistent with uploads and focus on like the podcast, instead of like stopping mid convo to like do X, Y, and Z when it comes to like, okay, well, I have to ban this, and this. I have to delete all of these comments. It's like, no, I'm gonna just ultimately, I'm gonna have to go nuclear during certain it's one thing if it's like sort of like a looser stream where it's just like, it definitely is more chat oriented, but with something like this where I very specifically want to talk about something, it's like, yeah, that might be a thing that has to happen. I don't love it. I don't want it to I don't want it to sound like that I don't care about y'all's opinions, or I don't like talking to y'all, because again, I've never had this issue. I'm just sort of preparing myself for when it does, which might be giving myself a little bit too much credit as somebody who, you know, is like still a pretty small streamer, but like, again, it's like, because of that, it's sometimes that just makes me look like an easier target, and I just want to be able to have people feel safe here, and to also have like more consistent uploads where they're not being derailed by haters. So I'm sorry if that means that there's going to be periods of time where like chat is just like frozen, or it's like emote only, or it's like whatever, and then on screen that's like gonna go away. But I just wanted to let everybody know that that's the thing that I'm thinking about, and that's actually been occupying my mind a little bit for the past week, actually. I know it's been sort of a hot minute since I've streamed because of Memorial Day, and just sort of my inconsistent schedule pretty recently anyway. I'm still working out a lot of the kinks. I'm still new to this, but I mean, I don't think anybody's like actually mad at me about it, but it's just like, I'm a person. This is like not my full-time thing, and until I can figure out sort of like a better balance, it means it's going to be in flux a little bit, I guess. I'm hoping y'all could like understand that. And sorry, I have a very loud truck in the background. Okay, so here's like another thing too. So I guess I will be redirecting this back to Pokemon. I recorded this in the morning at like around 10 a.m., I believe. Um, I have construction going on in the house next to me because the tenants just moved out. I guess they want to just like redo everything downstairs. So if you hear drills, hammers, whatever in the background of the recording from this morning, that's why. That's a big reason why I don't stream during the day. It's because there's like so many distracting noises. Um, but that's why they're there. Just as a disclaimer. Um, Also, another thing that so when we jump into the video, um, I don't remember if I preface it at the time that I scrolled to, because we're not going to start from the very beginning, because it is a lot of me saying stuff that's like similar to this. Um, is last night when I was in Day to Day stream, we were setting up bingo cards for like predictions for the trailer. When we open the video in a second, it's gonna jump directly into um, me reading off some of the things I had written down, sort of predicting today. Spoiler alert: we do, we do mega flop. We do not get a bingo, um, but I don't know. I knew that like even though nobody was gonna call me out on it, because it's like if I was like 100% right on like every single thing, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, like that bingo card seems like kind of sus. But I think me being like ridiculously wrong sort of eliminates the need for me to throw out those kind of disclaimers that yes, I did make this bingo card last night. Yes, the majority of the things I put on are like kind of stupid. Some of them are obvious, but a lot of them are kind of stupid. Um, it's I always like doing these kinds of things. I mean, I did that for like the Grammys from like several streams back at this point. Um, and I figured I'd probably do it again for this because it just seemed fun. But that being said, we are going to jump into the sorry, we're gonna jump into the pre-recording from earlier today. I'm hoping the audio sounds fine on here. I might have to up some of the audio gain, but I will be monitoring the levels just in case. Because I've never done something like this, where it's like a kind of like a meta stream, but um, I'm interested to see how it works out, and I'm also hoping I don't get in trouble for it. Wait, actually, we're gonna go into full because I have it cropped for that. Again, very weird meta moment. I'm gonna mute myself personally while the video plays. Um, it's like kind of longish, but I might stop and pause a lot, so that might affect it a little bit too. But we'll see. Again, I've never done this before. Okay, well you can kind of see it. So I made a bingo card last night. Um, I wanted to post this as early as I could, and then I like passed out because I didn't want people to think that I was like faking it or that I was making up like my own expectations. Based off of actually watching the trailer. I swear to God, I have not watched it yet. I'm not. So that's probably going to happen a lot because my internet's not very good. I'm very sorry. I'm not trying to like pull the wool over anyone's eyes. I know I know there's like usually a free space in the middle. I tried to think of like a really obvious thing that I knew was gonna happen as free space that'd be more entertaining than just writing free space, and then I couldn't think of anything, so I just wrote free space. I don't know if that's cheating or not, but so the predictions that we have are there's going to be a new evolution. One of the legendaries is going to be a lion. So, in case you didn't know, Scarlet and Violet are the primary colors on the flag for the Second Republic of Spain. Considering the world appears to be based off of Spain or the Iberian Peninsula, like in general. Um, There's been some speculation that not only is the region based off of like Spain, but in like the colors are based off of like the flag. But if we're going off of the flag, that means that the legendary is going to be based off of that. My prediction was that it was going to at least tease or introduce the legendaries in this trailer, but that at least one of them would be like a lion. Welcome to the X region. So first of all, I don't know what the name of the region is like right now, but in my mind, I just like picture the the Nintendo voice that happens with like all the trailers, where it's just like, welcome to the whatever region. Also, final evolutions. I hope we see them in this trailer because I can't go like another day without knowing whether or not Weed Cat is bipedal. I also have that on this bingo card. There's gonna be a little something for the monster fuckers. I figured there'd at least be like one either actually hot Pokemon or one that people just sort of like are attracted to that like becomes a meme on Twitter. I guess the other thing that I wanted to put, so maybe this would be like my free space, is I figured so remember when Gen 8 came out and they revealed Wooloo and they just became Twitter's precious little boy. I'm hoping we get something like that like in this trailer. I know both of these are subjective, so they're probably like not fair for a bingo card, but we're just doing this for fun. I don't win anything out of this. Fashion. So the main characters have 0 drip in like their base design. In the past few games, they've had custom wardrobes that you can do. Like they have like cute little outfits. So I'm hoping the trailer shows at least some of the cosmetics. Weed Cat is bipedal. I'm not manifesting Weed Cat being bipedal. Obviously, I want like a cat that lets to continue to be a cat. That was English. But I figured I don't trust I don't trust in my dreams enough for this to actually be the case. So I was just like, okay, I'm emotionally preparing myself for Weed Cat being bipedal. Regional inspiration is confirmed. We had like a whole debate on this last night about what the regional inspiration was. Some people thought it was like the Mediterranean, like in general. I was pretty sure that it was just going to be the Iberian Peninsula, so it's going to be Spain and Portugal. But I figured, like, I mean, if it's the full thing, it actually is like the biggest world in like Pokemon, like period. Did that be lit? But I doubt that's going to be the case. Pokemon contests return, self-explanatory. I want them back, even if they're kind of stupid. Vehicle reveal or vehicles. I hope it's something as like silly and jank as like the water bikes. Personally, because they look so silly, but I kind of love them for that. New professor is hot again. So even though I tweeted this, I have not. I should emphasize I have literally not seen anything about like the new trailer. So I'm really excited to see if like the professor is hot. I also know the champion is female this time. We've had like a couple male champions the past few times, and I don't know. I think that they want to like mix it up. So in my mind, they're just like a girl boss. Free space, which I guess I'm gonna say now is like sort of the internet's precious little boy, is going to be introduced, like on like a Wooloo level, either because they're really cute or like their name is really silly. But again, that's like subjective. I'll have to be going through Twitter as the day goes on to confirm a couple of these. I hope there's like some kind of multiplayer functionality. I really missed that in Legends Arceus, which I know isn't like a main line series thing, but it'd just be cool, especially when like Sword and Shield's multiplayer was kind of lacking until like the DLCs, in my opinion. I also think there's going to be a Sword and Shield Legends Arceus, whatever, however you pronounce it, Brilliant Dining, Shining Pearl, or Unite bonuses. So like if you link your accounts or your saves, that there's going to be some kind of bonus tied into it, just so there's like an incentive for you to have all of these. I have all of these games like already, so I hope there's bonuses, like whether it's like a bonus cosmetic or even just like kind of like silly little presents. um, rip traditional routes. So we haven't had like the routes be kind of like, even the routes in Sword and Shield, like they were kind of like off. Like they weren't like at any like the previous games really. Just because of like a nature of them being a different camera angle, um, and with the characters being taller, like it's hard to translate the setup of the older routes. But for this game, I think it's going to be completely done. I don't even think they're going to call them routes anymore. I think it's just going to be, um, it's literally just going to be a bunch of like wild areas strung together, kind of, or like maybe not Legends Arceus style, but I mean, if it was, like, I'd be fine with that because that was just fun. I know that sort of throws a wrench in the machine for traditional Pokemon battles, but maybe they're going to be like optional now, or maybe it's just going to be like about like talking to the right people. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I feel like the routes are done, and I know some people don't love that. I'm personally fine with it. Um, Kalos. So because Spain like borders France, there's been some talks about Kalos being like either like featured as like a tiny bonus region, or maybe like there's like some post game stuff related to it. I don't know. Or even if it's just like a character cameo, I want like some sort of reference to Kalos. I think these two might be hard to prove like within like the trailer itself, unless they like explicitly say that like, hey, we're doing this. So there's a chance I have to revisit this bingo card when the game actually comes out. We'll see. Ballot Frontier returns. I feel like that they would probably advertise that in this trailer if it was going to be there, because I know that's the thing that people really wanted in Sword and Shield we didn't get. Mini games. I saw that the main area, well, maybe not the main area, but like one of the areas that they had like in the first trailer looks kind of like theme parkish. So like maybe we get mini games like that. That could be a multiplayer functionality. I don't know, just have little party games. Strong and agile skills return. So that's like from Legends Arceus. There's like different ways that you can use like your abilities. I'm kind of wondering if that kind of playstyle returns into like a mainline game, and like they were just trying it out in Legends Arceus to see if people like responded well to it. I think there's a chance that like it doesn't, because I think these were developed more likely they were developed concurrently to each other. So if they didn't know if they were going to be popular or not, or if the game was going to like mega flop, then like maybe I think it's probably more likely that this doesn't return. But I'm manifesting it anyway because I thought that was like a fun added layer of strategy. Gym leaders. This is just like, I want to see if they reveal any gym leaders in this trailer. Same thing with villains. Literally any cameo. This is like if there's like a big cameo like in the trailer, there's a chance that they don't even reveal this in the trailer. I guess with like with revisiting this so as far as scoring this bingo card now, I'm looking at this through the perspective of the trailer itself. I think down the road, whenever the game comes out, I will revisit this, but like if these don't show up in the trailer now, then that means that like I flopped. But if I get vindicated down the road, then that's my redemption arc. Um, Also, new rival. I feel like they have to show the new rival in this trailer, right? And then the other one. So again, I was purely speculating with this one. So they normally do. I read like in an article that they normally do November releases. I know that they said it was coming out in 2022. I feel like we're gonna get like an official day for like a release date, but I have no idea what to expect. So with all that being said, this is like a very long-winded way to distract myself from like actually doing like a reaction to everything. So we're gonna actually get into it now. I hope the volume is okay for this. I don't know how much I'm allowed to show, or if I'm going to be like chopping this later when I sort of replay it on stream, but we'll see. I just hope the audio I hope the audio sounds fine, but if I have to mute it when I watch this later, like that might just be what ends up happening. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Oh my god, I'm so excited. 」 « « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « 」 « « Okay, game footage not final. I expected that. That could go in like either direction. Oh shit. Okay, so we get two professors. I wonder if they're game based, but okay, so I already feel proven right with that. They are both hot. We love a little bit of vibe panic. Yes, sweet cat. Okay, I'm assuming this is... Okay, this is our rival, I'm assuming? Oh my god, I love them. Okay, so these look like... These look like what they're gonna be the routes. So, okay, so maybe I'm right about routes being dead? Routes? I don't know how to pronounce it. Okay, that was the... Okay, sorry. I'm gonna pause it. So that was a... Wait a second. No way. Okay, so this is just Legends Arceus. With like sneaking and every... Oh my god, I'm so excited. I haven't finished Legends Arceus, by the way. I got so distracted by just doing all of like the smaller activities that I barely did anything story related. I'm so excited though. I was gonna say a thing that I was like concerned about was that that we weren't going to be good. I don't know why I was concerned about it, because they have been like pretty good about it the past several games. But like having like different skin tones being represented, and then like now like new hair different hair types being represented. I know there's still much improvement sort of needed in that department moving forward, but I'm glad that they're at least trying. And like I think Unite has been like a good way to like they definitely added like the most in Unite. So it looks... I'm gonna scroll back. I'm sorry if that's like triggering to people as like a first reaction kind of thing, but I want to scroll back because I wanted to get like a better... Oh, you know what, I might okay, so we do have cosmetics. We do have different hairs. I'm hoping that these hairs like aren't locked, like the afro hair like isn't locked at the beginning of the game that you have to pay for. I'm hoping that like in character creation at the beginning of the game that like these can be your starting hairstyles, because like I do think it's like annoying to have your own hair be represented like not on the onset of the game. Is that like a fair statement to make? I feel like that's right. But okay, so but we do have new outfits, thank god. It's probably not going to be the same catching style as Legends Arceus, but I do like that sneaking up on your... I'm claiming this... Stop. They really named this dude Lechonk. I fucking can't. I can't with them. I'm claiming them as like this generation's Wooloo, by the way. I don't care if Twitter feels differently. I'm claiming this as like Wooloo. Okay, so you do... Okay, so they still will challenge you if they see you. Wait, is this multiplayer? Oh no, it's trading. But it's trading in like the real... That's interesting. I don't know if Sword and Shield was like that, because I kind of didn't do like a lot of the multiplayer stuff in the wild area, but it looks like it's not lagging as much. But again, I know it's like this is like early footage. It's not representative like the actual thing. Okay, so we have gyms, but show me the gym leaders. Wait, is that it? Please tell me that's not it. Okay, thank you. Okay, this is like cinematic. Okay, what? Okay, so I think I was very wrong. The legendaries is not like... I should have just done like legendaries are revealed. I'm digging these though. These look cool as shit. We didn't get the... Okay. I will be unpacking this later on stream, obviously. Worldwide release Friday, November 18th. Okay, so at least I have that. Okay, so I definitely flopped on my bingo card, but that's okay. I'm still super. Oh, what's going on? Hello, lag. Hello, lag. That's it? Okay. Much to unpack. Alright, so I'll do like a formal breakdown of the I mean, I'm gonna like watch the trailer again on stream, like not fully, and I'll have like the audio muted, but I just want to like sort of, excuse me, scroll and pause here and there for it just to like see. But oh my god. All right, so let's look at our bingo card again. I'll like actually mark it up sort of later for Twitter, but so we did not get the new evolution. That was like okay, that one was like pretty. That one was ambitious. I admit that. Line legendary, we don't get that. This was not a narrated trailer. I'm surprised it wasn't. Okay, then final Evos also did not get that. A little something for the monster fuckers. I'll have to see where it's at for Twitter today, but like as of now, like I do not know. Fashion, okay, we did get fashion. We did not get Weed Cat. We did not, because it's not a narrated trailer, we didn't get the regional inspiration being confirmed. Pokemon contest, not there. Vehicles, not there. Professor is hot. Yes, we got that. Champ is a girl boss, no. Free space, which is like, I'm claiming them as my new Wooloo. Multiplayer, not revealed, sadly. No bonuses revealed. Rip traditional routes, correct. Kalos, didn't get anything for it. Battle Frontier, nope. Minigames, nope. Strong Nalgel skills, I couldn't tell. I'm assuming probably not. Gym leaders, no. Villains, no. Literally any cameo, no. New rival, yes. November 2022 release, yes. Okay, so I flopped. But that's okay. Like these are honestly, most of these were pretty lofty. I'm not sure really what I was like. I'm not sure what I was expecting. All right, that's about as much as I can like sit through of hearing myself talk when I'm not thinking in an editing perspective. Um, so okay, to amend a couple of my statements, yes, we did see multiplayer. That was something that like I immediately was corrected on the moment I the moment I went to Twitter. Um, I saw all of like the formal announcements about like, oh, how this is. Oh, I mean, there were like a lot of things that like I just didn't get from this because I didn't. I again, this was like fully just a trailer reaction. I didn't like read any of the articles associated with it like at the same time. This was something that happened like after I finished recording, so I did end up correcting myself on a couple of things, but I do want to quickly address. I am so sorry. I did not realize how laggy that video was gonna be. But ooh, okay, hang on. Sorry, music a little loud. But I mean, I guess I probably could have expected like trying to do like the stream within a stream thing was like a little. It was a little bit ambitious, but hang on, I'm gonna bring the music way down. Oh my god. But I'm so sorry to anybody whose ears were just blown out with that. I know that when I edit later, I might hate myself for that. But yeah, so like they did reveal multiplayer. I thought I was only seeing Pokemon trading there. It didn't connect with me that like, oh, like those the four traders like at the beginning. I thought they were just like your friend characters, and then like when it did like the split screen of all of them, that those were just going to be like different character types. Like it didn't connect with me that those were like the same trainers. In my defense, a lot of this stuff kind of just goes by very quickly, and then it's like also it's only a 3-minute trailer, which I personally find very disrespectful. I hate this for us. Somehow I will still stretch this this video out to like at least an hour. I mean, we're already almost getting there. It's like we're about to hit like the 50-minute mark. But yeah, so that was multiplayer. The announcement, I do have it. Hang on, I have it pulled up on my phone. Let me read it out loud so that I don't fuck anything up and actively spread misinformation on the internet. God forbid. All right, so a deeper experience with multiplayer gameplay. Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet allow multiplayer gameplay with up to 4 players. Along with series staples such as trading and battling Pokemon, you will be able to explore the various locations of the region in these games with other players. You can discover new Pokemon and explore unfamiliar areas with your friends and family, opening the door to an adventure more precious and fun than ever. Um, pre- Precious and fun. I don't know why. That's kind of that's a cute wording. I'll give them that. So I'm not really sure entirely what this like entails though. Um we're gonna look at the trailer again in a second, but I just wanted to like sort of like refocus a couple of my thoughts before like we do. Um but I'm very very curious to how like the multiplayer is going to work because like I think of like okay, well I guess I should run through like the other announcement that like I didn't see because it wasn't in the trailer. It was like a press release kind of thing. But I probably could have inferred from looking at it a little bit. um so I knew that the routes were going to be probably more closely resembling the large areas in like Legends Arceus, and like that's how they were gonna do it. But then they're like, no, this is gonna be like they're describing it as like Pokemon's first open world game in the sense that it's gonna be like seamless traversal between these like massive areas. And I'm very curious to like one, how that's gonna run. um and two, how that's gonna work with 4 player co-op. Well, I'm assuming it's co-op. It's not just like walking simulator. Um and then it's also just like okay, so they did show at least that you're going to be going into like these wild areas with you're able to like with co-op, but like I'm wondering how Pokemon battles are going to work. I'm wondering if it's gonna lag like Sword and Shield does with its wild area. That game is like kind of that game was like developed forever. Well, it feels like forever ago at this point. So I'm hoping they've honed in a lot of the tech. I guess I don't know what I'm trying to say. Um, I figured that Legends Arceus was like going to be a sort of like a beta test in a way for a lot of these ideas, not just to see like how they run performance wise, but to see like how the fan base would react to it, which is why I was surprised that Scarlet and Violet was like announced so soon, because like while I do recognize that they were definitely developed concurrently to each other, like it wasn't the same team that like worked on it to my understanding anyway. So Legends Arceus has been like developed for like a while. When it came out, they were probably still working on Scarlet and Violet. um but because of that, like I'm surprised that they took like a risk on like continuing the aesthetic they did with like Legends Arceus. Because what if people hated it? I guess some people weren't like the biggest fan of it. They definitely weren't a fan of the story. It seemed like overall, I'm kind of a different. I can't really comment on the story because I didn't finish it because I'm stupid and I have way too many games like on the back burner. But I think hmm, another thing that they said was because this is like open world, they want to encourage it being I mean, it's gonna be. They straight up said it's gonna be non-linear. So I'm kind of wondering like how level scaling is gonna work with like the gyms, if they're even gonna scale them at all. Is there gonna be like a meta order to like go? Is it possible? Are we gonna see certain playthroughs where like these kids go to like immediately to the Elite Four? Um, like who's to say? I have no idea how exactly they're going to orient the story. I know that Sword and Shield. So Sword and Shield was definitely not non-linear when it came to how it approached the gyms, but like it definitely felt like hypothetically in that world you could tackle it at any order. I mean, it did have you like running around towns and like waiting for like certain gyms to open. Um, and which is like locking things behind story beats. And it seems like that if their plan is to like not do that at least completely, like I'm sure there's going to be like there's definitely going to be like a tutorial sort of period, I guess, of time that you play before they sort of just like throw you out there. And I saw on Twitter someone said maybe like the first gym will be sort of required as part of like the structure, but other than that, I think it's going to be probably mostly free reign. And if that's the case, then like I do think level scaling is going to be a thing that they have to think about. Which I mean, if they don't like take it into consideration um, and they just make it so like if you try to do like the steel gym, for example, like super early on, but that otherwise would have been like the latter half of like your gym badge journey, and you just get like absolutely fucking wrecked in like the fight, and it just punishes you for that. I get that that would sort of betray the non-linear sort of format that they're going with, and it would kind of discourage follow-up playthroughs in that way, but I think it would be funny. Do I support that? No. um I think it's interesting to think about the replay value that being able to approach this game in multiple different angles is going to provide. I'm wondering how early you can trade. Probably pretty early, as soon as you unlock multiplayer, which I think might be, I'm hoping is kind of close to the beginning. I know that again though, that leaves it open to like, okay, well you're just gonna like try to fast pass your way through the game. Is that like kind of a fun way to approach it? Um, I don't know that. I don't know that I'm too worried about that being an issue though. Um, my other concern is because it's non-linear, I'm kind of hoping the story doesn't suffer too much for that. Um, the solution that I saw and that I was kind of thinking about myself, but ultimately they put it better, is if they decide that instead of it being sort of one major story outside of like, you know, just doing like your general tasks, is just like the, you know, doing like the gyms, the Elite Four, like all of that, and like that's sort of like the core through line, and then like something related to the legendaries, then like sure. But then it's going to be, every town is going to be its like own individualized story arc, so that you can really approach it at any order, and the story is going to be able to operate independently that way. Then I think that'd be fine. I doubt that they're going to go the choice based story narrative route, Telltale style of like, oh, if you go here first, then that affects your ability to do this in like this other town at this specific time. Like, I don't think they're going to do that. It'd be kind of interesting if they did, because then that really would reward repeat playthroughs. But I don't know that this is like a game that like really wants you to be able to do that, because I feel like Pokemon in general, with like how they do like the single save slot sort of deal, um, they don't want you resetting that much. So I'm hoping that the emphasis on replay value doesn't overtake having like a solid single playthrough experience, if that makes any sense. But again, I doubt that with Pokemon and like knowing it's sort of younger audience. I know that a lot of people are saying like, no, Pokemon needs to like acknowledge its like older audience more. Um and like I feel like they're striking a good in between by like giving us like Legends Arceus as like something for like the older gamers, and then like a main title like this can sort of be either like an in between, or I mean I think it realistically would be kind of like more like an in between, and then reporting like Diamond and Pearl. Like, yes, there is a nostalgia factor for that, but it was definitely more aimed towards bringing in newer fans who didn't get to play those games. So that's going to be like people who are like younger. It's kind of reflected in like sort of like the art style with like the chibis. Um, but then it still has like a couple of things for people like returning to the game, just for like nostalgia's sake. But like I feel like Brilliant Diamond and like Shining Pearl sort of dropped off of a lot of people's radars pretty quickly. Um, when they realized that the differences weren't really that much. I know for sure, like on Twitch, it's like Nuzlocke challenges and like shiny hunting is like a thing. Here's the thing: I can never get into shiny hunting, so that probably makes me kind of like a fake fan when it comes to these games. That's definitely why I don't find myself doing a lot of repeat playthroughs. So again, I definitely hope that this story or whatever route they go with narratively is solid enough the first time through where I don't feel like I'm losing out on an experience if I don't play a specific way. But I guess we'll just have to see. I'm excited either way. I'm glad that they're trying something different. Um, I'm excited, honestly. I am mad though. I do feel disrespected by the fact um that this trailer was like only 3 minutes long. But at the same time, like I talked with my sister about it, and she's just like, well, because I thought it was gonna be kind of like, we already had like our little teaser months ago, and I thought this one, because there was such like a big announcement like ahead of time for it, that was gonna be kind of similar to like when Animal Crossing did its big content reveal. And she's like, okay, well, but that's probably gonna be saved more for like a direct, which is like coming up, I think, in like July. I'm just like, okay, fine, that makes sense. But it's why like I did think that this was going to be a narrated trailer. So the fact that it wasn't, and it was just kind of showing a bunch of stuff, kind of very briefly, I had like mixed feelings about. But I'm also I'm not I mean I'm not like mad at it, obviously. Like I'm not being like, oh fuck you Pokemon team for cock teasing us like that, or something. Um, but I am left sort of wanting a little bit more. But I guess that's the idea of like, well, that's the idea of a teaser. But like for like a trailer, I don't know. Well, I mean, for some people they're like synonymous, and that might actually be the actual definition. I could just be really dumb. Um, all of these very possible. So we're going to scroll back through the trailer a bit. I'm not going to play the full thing because I don't know how much I'm allowed to play. If I'm not doing commentary, I'm mostly doing this so I can like get kind of some screenshots, maybe talk about it again, or certain parts again, now that I've had the entire day to like to sit with that information. But but yeah, I guess we'll just go with that. I did mute it because I don't know if there's going to be a music issue. But also, it's like if I'm stopping, it's starting a lot. Like I'd feel like people don't really care about the audio. Also, if this lags again, I'm really sorry. Okay, so I will say our house is very, very cute. I'm really liking the starter town. Okay, so hang on. We're already pausing. We're already going back. Hang on. So hang on. Somebody pointed out that because the legendaries look kind of like motorcycles, and these appear to be kind of like the Pokemon centers. I'm hoping they're not. Like I'm hoping we still have traditional Pokemon centers, but that these are just gonna like scattered about. Like I'm hoping this doesn't entirely replace it. But like this looks like a gas station, and I'm just like, are we about to like drive? Is this about to be Pokemon on motorcycles? I'd be interested to see if like that's how world traversal sort of works in this game, which does make me wonder how soon you get those legendaries then, if they're going to be sort of used more of a traversal tool, if you get it soon at all. But I don't know. I'm interested. I'm also interested to see if there's like other like vehicles that like aren't related to like the legendaries. Like if they don't want to throw the legendaries at you that early, it's just like, okay, so like, do they want you to walk mostly through the game, or are they going to give you like a way to sort of speed through certain things? I feel like I'm okay with a combination of both. I'm okay with like them just like waiting for that to be like end game stuff as well. I know that if the world is like kind of overwhelmingly big and there's a lot of backtracking, then like yeah, of course, like I would want a little bit more like backtrack friendly stuff. But Sword and Shield had a lot of stuff sort of set up for you in order to traverse the world relatively easily. Granted, it was like a pretty straightforward world overall. I have not seen the map for this game yet, so I have no idea what it's going to be like. But I'm interested to see. I'm interested to see how these Pokemon centers work. I'm hoping it's not the only version of them. But all right, so then it also seems like we have like two major, I almost want to say factions. That's kind of carrying over for Legends. Each of the professors. Okay, first pause. First of all, happy Pride Month. Bisexuals have been fed today. So here's the tea. So the professors are locked behind behind the games, I believe anyway. Um, that might show up as like a rival, but I think depending on which game you pick, that's like deciding your faction, right? Tying in my my older Divergent stream, obviously. So I was originally going to do Scarlet because hello, Miss Wanda Maximoff did not put her old Wanda um into Multiverse of Madness for her to be forgotten so easily. Not today. Um, but knowing that Turo is like waiting for me in Pokemon Violet, girl, I'm so torn. No, I'm a big unsurprisingly, I'm a very big fan of both of these characters' designs. I believe so. It seems like the theme of this gen is past and future. So she's definitely more like, like dinosaur age. Like she has like the animal pelts thing going on. She's probably like maybe a bit of like an archaeologist type. And then he's like futuristic. He has like the sleek suit going on. He's probably a STEM daddy. Oh my god. Um, Let me stop. So it's just like, I mean, it's really like reject modernity, embrace tradition meme. I also I fully acknowledge that like he also just looks like the Giga Chad meme. I believe that's what it's called. I accept that. I accept that I am shrimping over a fictional character who is literally just Giga Chad. But but fuck it. If you're gonna support gay rights, you have to support gay wrongs as well. Um, oh my god. Okay, the starters are so cute. I love the starters so much. I am sad that we didn't get any indication of like the previous. Also, oh my god. I sorry. I'm jumping around so much. I am obsessed with our rival. I think she looks so cool. What's her name? Nimona. Oh my god, I stan. I'm hoping she's not annoying. I'm also wondering if we get any other rivals or if like she's just gonna be like the only one. Um like if it's gonna be a sword and shield situation where like you do have your main rival with Hop, but then like you have like secondary rivals as well. I think that'd be cool. I think if like the world is going to be this big, you kind of want a larger cast of characters. So I'm hoping like Nimona is going to be like your main rival, and she's going to have like the most character development out of all of them. But that there's still going to be like a good cast of supporting characters that you can fight. I also think, oh, we're going to see it in a second. I think this little, I don't even know what it is. I keep wanting to call it Chinchilla, but I know it's not. Um, it's like the new electric type. It looks so cute. I know that every generation has like a Pokemon. Hello, a Pikachu. Every generation of Pokemon has Pokemon in it. Wow, big shock. But has like sort of like a Pikachu, not variant, but like kind of. Um, and for this one, it's like it could be that. I'm okay with that. I think it's very cute. I don't know what it's called. I know some of the names have already like um I wouldn't even say leaked. Some of them might have been come in like an actual announcement, but I'm gonna say leaked. Some of the names have been revealed. Let's say that some of the names are out. Like I know Smoliv, which I think is an amazing name, and Lechonk, which is also an amazing name. Those are out. Obviously, the legendary names are out. I don't remember what Nimona's Pokemon is, which does make me sad. Also, this guy is in literally every game. The power of science is amazing. The power of Pokemon is amazing. Like this guy is literally fucking everywhere. Um, okay, so yeah, so that went by so fast. So because of that, it didn't click with me that like that was them explicitly talking about four-player co-op. I'm wondering how close you need to be in order for you to occupy the same world. Like, are you allowed to just completely go off in different directions, or do you have to stay in like the same area? I actually don't know. I'm interested to see how though. Um, I don't love how a lot of the textures are looking, but I get it. It's okay. And here's the MVP, Lechonk. I love the UI, by the way, too. The UI looks really clean. I just think that the environments, like, I understand the Switch's limitations. They're not my favorite. I do think the character models are very cute, though. Even if, like, the lighting on the Pokemon are, like, a little bit weird for me. I don't really know if, like, dynamic lighting is going to be, like, a strong suit of this game, personally. Um, but I felt that way about, when, like, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl like were first announced. Like I felt that way about the models too. Like they looked like a little bit too like they looked kind of off. And a big part of it was the lighting. I know that because this isn't technically final gameplay footage, that they could fix it because they did fix it in the final releases of those. So I I'm not gonna be too pessimistic about it because I know they'll probably fix it. Um, Also, I don't know what these are. Are they new or are they regional variants of something? If it's a regional variant of like something else, then I know like some of my friends are gonna be very happy because they put regional variants on their bingo cards, and I did not because I'm a fool. Oh yeah, I'm also wondering with like weather conditions, I doubt that they're going to be season locked. I bet it's going to be like every region or every level is going to have a different climate and like weather type, which is fine. I mean that's like pretty like standard for for Pokemon in general, but I don't know. I like the idea of like a four seasons Pokemon game would be nice too. Because did Black and I don't remember. Did Black and White do that? Like in Gen 5, did they have dynamic seasons, or was it like always the um was it always like the same for like certain areas and like you don't really see the seasons change that much? Um we will talk about the the legendaries in a second, specifically how one of them looks. But I just wanted to like finish my thought about like dynamic seasons. I also hope that the clock, I'm assuming the clock won't be story locked like it was in Sword and Shield, where like you had to beat the main campaign in order for different times of day to be unlocked. I'm hoping there's like a full day night cycle for this game. I don't know if it's going to be tied to like your actual in-game clock, or if it's going to have like a like your in-unit clock, or if it's going to be its own in-universe clock where like there's going to be like resting is going to take time and it's going to be like legends. um I'm interested to see how that goes personally. And then okay, so we will talk about I'm doing a great job at um I'm doing a great job at moderating myself with how I'm organizing this discussion. It's just because I'm so excited. um But so Marai, is it Miraidon? They're on the right. I don't love the I don't love their silhouette. Um, like they look okay from the side, but like I'm not gonna pretend that I don't see a penis, and that like I don't see a dildo. I know that makes me that I know I'm a bad person for saying that, but um yeah. I mean, overall, I think they look cool. I still prefer. I know some people aren't like really feeling Scarlet's legendary. I personally think it's cool. It's kind of like another reason why I'm still contemplating getting Scarlet. But again, like I really want the hot professor. I'm hoping like they're both still in the game, and like they're just going to be the leader of like the other faction, and then you're just like working against that faction the entire time. That'd be an interesting way to do the villains, I guess, quote unquote. Um, in this game is to just sort of like have like your own team that you're a part of, because I know that like Legends did that. Um, Granted, I know that antagonists worked very different for that as well. From like the bits of story that I did play through, because again, I did not finish that game. Um, because they had like the Pearl Clan and everything, and I don't remember the other names. I want to say the Diamond Clan, but that may have been named something else. I don't know. And then obviously, you were in like you were in an older version of Team Galactic, which is like So embarrassing for you. Like imagine you're like isekai back in time and then you work with like a global terrorist group. Pretty cringe. I don't know. Sorry, the precursor to one. I guess they were sort of, I wouldn't say they were relatively inoffensive in Legends, but still. But that'd be cool if like because I like the idea of you being sort of locked to a team with like each title because then it's just like all of your friends could be like, oh, like, which team are you? Are you team Scarlet or are you team Violet? As opposed to being like essentially still doing that, but like it's just like the differences between the game are like kind of more subtle. I like the idea of narratively them being set apart in that way. If that makes any sense, like it's not like there's going to be a major story beat change or anything with it. It's just that's just I don't know. Um, I also I don't know why I just got so scared and thought that my mic wasn't on. I'm just like, if I've been talking for like over an hour and nobody could hear what I was saying, that'd be so embarrassing. I think like another okay, so another thing with them being the legendaries being past and future. I know some people were just like, is there going to be a third Mon that's like the present? It is like an arbiter of time in that way. And like I don't know that they're even going to be like actual like time gods if like we already had like time and space with Diamond and Pearl, but I wouldn't be against it, but I think they might just end up being more like symbolically about like the past and like the future. Um, but then that also makes me wonder is like, okay, so like what does each team want? Does like one of them like want to push like press towards like the future and like that's why Team Violet is like working towards or not necessarily for, but like inevitably in service to this legendary, and then like vice versa for Team Scarlet that like wants to be um about returning to the I wouldn't want to say returning to the past because that doesn't seem that doesn't I mean I don't know what the history of like the Pokemon world is when it comes to certain topics, but I feel like rarely do you want to go backwards when it comes to history, if you're in a marginalized group or a bunch of marginalized groups like me. But again, I know the Pokemon world probably doesn't work like that. um I think another thing too is I know that there was like a great Kalos conflict or whatever that was like in the lore. I don't remember too much about it, but I know some people were like, oh, is this going to be like related, are they going to like relate this to the war? And like if there's like sort of like a time plot related to Scarlet and Violet, then like I'm interested to see if it covers that at all. And then like the other thing too, if like the villains quote unquote, so if the villains aren't just like the other team that you just happen to be like working against, like they're not necessarily like villains, but they're like rivals. But like in the case that there is like a villain as like a third party kind of deal, what do you think they'd look like? There was like a part of me that just like, what if they just looked like conquistadors? And I'm just like, that might be a little dark. Or like doing like Spanish Inquisition stuff too. Like I was like thinking about this, like, oh, there's like probably like you could like draw from the designs. I'm just like, but that's kind of dark too. So maybe I don't want to be drawing from those influences specifically. Um, girl, I don't know. I don't even know. But I don't know. Very excited. I don't know how many more times I can say very excited for this game. I probably let's go back to just chatting because there isn't really anything else that I need to like see here that I haven't like already looked at. Um, I will say the battle. Okay, so the battle interface looks pretty clean, and it looks like you're also fighting in sort of the overworld. So that's making me like, okay, so is this going to be Legends Arceus where like you like run into things like on the overworld? It doesn't take you through like a loading screen. You just fight them there. And then likewise, does that mean that other Pokemon are allowed to like join in if you're nearby, and it becomes like a group fight and things can get like out of hand? Because if that's the case, then it's just like, okay, well, so are we saying goodbye to double battles then? I guess technically no, because trainers could still do that. So I don't know why I said that. That was like a stupid hypothetical. So we're gonna scratch that from the record. We're gonna pretend I have the patience to edit this out when I post this later. Um, but I'm very interested to see how this plays. Um, I am sad that we didn't get to see um really any of like the side content, but then again, that's like something that's definitely going to be more for a direct, if anything, because like let's be honest, like that is something that you'd want like a little bit more narration over. And I think if they do like a how long would you want the direct to be? Because I think I would personally hmm I mean, like selfishly, I'd want like 10 minutes, but I don't 10 or 12 minutes. But I know that historically, that much time has been like allocated towards like one game during a direct, for Nintendo or Pokemon. But I could be wrong though. I'm gonna like find one later that like proves me wrong, and this is like an easily fact checkable thing. I'm just not gonna do it right now. um, let's see. Sorry, big yawn. I don't know if you can tell that I'm like sort of trying my best to stay sort of like on tempo right now with talking about this because I do have an appointment in the morning. Um, Normally I don't really have engagements like this early when if it's like the day after like I'm streaming, but that's just how the calendar lined up. So that's why I did start a little bit earlier than normal. Not that that's gonna really make a difference to anybody who's watching this on YouTube later. But I just explaining because that's kind of the frame of mind that I'm in. Um, I don't know if I'm going to get this game on release personally. The only game, well, it's kind of like in general, the only game that I've bought on release, in like the past 5 years was like Legends Arceus, and that was like only because I had like other friends that were playing it, and I felt very left out. I know that's like not like a good reason to like purchase something, especially because then I didn't like even finish that game. Um, but I mean, I guess for like just a little bit of like TMI time. It's not even TMI. This is just kind of backstory for me that you didn't ask for. I don't really play a lot of video games or like new video games, to be honest. I kind of sit on my comfy games because I'm admittedly very casual. um I used to play League more before my computer started having issues running League, because it's an old fart from the early 2010s. um but otherwise I play a lot of like The Sims. I play Animal Crossing. I've been playing more games like on my phone now, but those are like free games obviously. Play Stardew, and then like I played Pokemon Sword and Shield. Um, I got like I got a Switch Lite pretty late, all things considered, when it comes to like the um its life cycle, and even then I still mostly play free games. Like I play fucking Fortnite on like my Switch because I like being able to play it in bed. Which I know it's not the ideal way to play it, but like also who cares? It's fucking Fortnite. Um, but because of that, like I just don't play like a lot of games on release because I don't like paying full price for them. So there's gonna have to be really strong incentives for me to want to get this game immediately, even though I'm definitely gonna feel very left out for like not playing it. Especially with oh my god, multiplayer. The idea of multiplayer, if it's done well, sounds so fun. So like I don't know, I'm torn. I think very likely I won't buy it on release, but I will be definitely thinking about getting it. It will pain me to like have to wait till probably like Christmas to like actually get into it. And that won't even be like when it's on sale. Like that'll just be when I break. Um, like I'll be like, oh, I'm just gonna wait until the new year for it to go on sale. And I just like crack right before excuse me, right before Christmas. And I'm just like, I'm treating myself early this year. I'm being nice to myself because it's like the holiday season. Um, I do realistically see that as being the case for myself. Um, but I'm interested to see though how many of my friends do buy it immediately. And then how quickly they finish it. Because like I'll be honest, I like to take my time with games personally, and then but I know people who are like able to just kind of no life it. Um, like no life any title that's like thrown in front of them, and I'm like more power to you personally, but I kind of like my games to last for a bit, especially if the campaign ends up being short. Like I I always kind of like, this might be like a controversial, maybe not controversial opinion, but like it's definitely an uninformed opinion, we'll say that, as like a disclaimer. um I do feel like a little weird when people complain about like a game's length being too short, but like then they played it like basically in one sitting for like 20 hours straight. It's just like, well, of course it felt short to you is because you like rushed through it. um but like I get it though, like when there's like a lack of end game content and side quests and stuff, then like yeah, that can definitely make a game feel a lot shorter than it actually is. I know a lot of people were disappointed with on-release Sword and Shield. I don't know that anyone said that it was like too short of a game, but I knew that people just did straight up didn't like it. um I personally liked it a lot, but that's because it was my first like sort of main Pokemon game since the Heart Gold Soul Silver remakes during like the Gen 4 era. Um I'd played like a couple of like the non-main titles like in between then, like so just think of like your mystery dungeons. And then like I play Pokemon Unite every now and then now with friends. Not as much as I like did when it first started. I honestly forgot how much of like Pokemon Unite I played like the first 3 months it was out. Um like it was nonstop for me. I don't know how I broke that cycle. I think it was just because I got so frustrated with climbing. Because I was always just like just within like reach for master rank, and then like I would just fizzle out um at like the last second, and then like and then but then by then all of my friends were like super high master ranks or whatever, and like they I wouldn't be able to play with them. It would just be bad for everybody involved. So I just kind of like gave up. um and then like now I don't even know how many seasons have gone by now. Or um was it seasons? I guess I'll say. I don't know if I can say seasons of like. It hasn't been like a full year yet, has it? I don't think it's been a full year. I don't know. I just remember when Unite was announced, I was like super stoked for it because it was like, oh my god, it's like League of Legends with Pokemon. And then it started off with such a small roster. It wasn't getting updated as much as I wanted it to be, but I still played the shit out of it because like I loved. I mean, even if he's like not like OP or even kind of meta anymore, like I still love Gengar. I'm a Gengar stan for anybody who didn't know. Like Gengar is literally my favorite Pokemon. Um, I do like Eldegoss though in Pokemon. I think I play Eldegoss and Decidueye way more in Pokemon Unite than I do Gengar, but like Gengar is still my favorite. Um, it's why I always tell people that like I would definitely be like, if I was like a gym leader and like I had to pick a type of Pokemon, I'd probably do Ghost type, either Ghost or Dark. But then like also the gay in me is just like, okay, but I want to be a Fairy type gym. Um, Ooh, that reminds me. So, what types of gym leaders do you want in Scarlet and Violet? I'm curious. I know for sure that there's probably going to be like a normal type and a fighting type and a fire type. Those are like my guesses. I know those are really boring guesses. But like you can't get like too. I feel like you can't get too off the wall with like gym leader types anyway if they have to be like a single type. But especially if you're going to be approaching this from like a non-linear angle. But I'm interested to see like how that take a shot every time Sean says interested. Um, but I think it'd be cool to see how they balance that, I guess. Because like, because then are you just gonna start with like the? Because like, what if the types of like gyms, that you're sort of advantageous against are on the other side of the continent? Um, not continent, I guess, probably country, more realistically. Um, because then that would be I'm not sure how they would balance that. There's a lot of things that I'm not sure how they're going to like execute it, but I'm putting my faith in them. I'm overall optimistic about this. I mean, but at the same time, like I'm very easy to impress. Like even if I was disappointed by this only being 3 minutes, I still love this trailer. I still can't wait for more. I can't wait for the direct. I can't wait for more info. I can't wait for like the region to be named. Like I'm surprised we didn't get the name for the region in this at all. Because like I think even for like the second trailer for Sword and Shield, like we knew it was called Galar. I don't know. There's lots of things with like the rollout for this that I'm very curious about. Um, I will say it does seem like we've been sort of it's been soft confirmed that this is Spain because of like some of the new landmark. I mean, some of the landmarks in like the original trailer and the landmarks in this new trailer definitely confirm real life parallels to Spain, or at the very least like Spain, Portugal. So I feel like probably that's like a done deal. I don't think that they're going to be expanding outwards to any other region. I know some people were saying like Italy, but I'm just like they're not even the same like remotely. And like none of like the names of like the Pokemon that we've gotten so far have like indicated anything like Italian. Like there was no Italian pun in any of these names yet, so I was kind of confused why people said Italy, but it's fine. But yeah, so things that we'll segment off like my next sort of series of thoughts, and then after that we'll do final thoughts. I guess like the next thing that I want to discuss is what my wants are for, well, not me splitting this up into like more parts. Okay, so here are my wants, or we're going to discuss my wants for the next trailer slash the direct, and then what I want from the game. Is that cool? Is that cool for me to say? Nobody's going to tell me to shut up, so it's fine. So from what I want from the next trailer, I want bare minimum, I want the name of the region. Please give me the name of the region. I want to know if hairstyles are locked as defaults from like the onset, and then you have to pay for the new ones. I want to know if I want to know what the final evos are. I can't be left in suspense any longer about like if like Sprigatito is like, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing their name right, is like bipedal or not in its final form. I'm hoping it's not bipedal. I know I put that on my bingo card, not to manifest it, but to like emotionally prepare for how much I was gonna hate for like another cat Pokemon to be bipedal. Like I just want a cat that gets to be a cat. I know we do have cat Pokemon that are like that. I know we have Persian, I know we have Delcatty, I know we have Liepard as well. Like I get that there are ones that are there, but like to have like a starter cat that gets to end up being a cat, just like a bigger cat, instead of like what we got with Incineroar, as much as I love Incineroar, like just give me that, you know? I'm also hoping what I want from the next trailer. Okay, so I want to know if I need them to reveal the next champion. I need to know if she's a girl boss, because that would be so cool. I need to know what her relationship to the main character is, because we got Leon like pretty early for in Sword and Shield, because like he was like the brother of like your best friend. So So I definitely want that. I want like some more details about what each of the teams do, and like if like the team is like locked entirely for the game, and like that's like the only team you'll see, or if like you'll still be able to interact with like the other faction. It's just that's not the one you'll be associated with, because like if in that case, if I can still have Turo in my game but I don't necessarily work for him, then like I guess I'd be okay with like sticking with Scarlet in representing Miss Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch, if you will. I mean, I'm not hard sold on like it's ultimately it's gonna come down to like I act like if there's like a serious decision making involved, but the reality is it's gonna come down to like, okay, but which one is like on sale near me that I can buy or order, because one of them always goes out of stock. That's always just how it happens. So it's ultimately it's not even going to be my choice unless I pre-order it, but I don't see myself pre-ordering it personally unless there's like really good bonuses, but I kind of doubt it. Like I don't think this is going to be like an on-release game for me. Legends Arceus wouldn't have been either if I wasn't like sort of like peer pressuring myself into it. That was definitely I wouldn't say that's a purchase I regret, but like kind of. Like I do like the game, but I definitely would have waited. Realistically, I've waited for like a different time for it to come out. Like maybe go on sale. I don't know if they ever really go on sale. Like I feel like Pokemon rarely goes on sale. I want to know what the vehicles are in the game, specifically what the Poke Stations are as opposed to the Pokemon Centers. I want to know if there's if it's going to be like a big hub area and then it splits off into different regions, or if it's going to be a series of regions, like sort of like or a series of like interconnected ones, like a typical Pokemon game. It's just that there's not going to be any loading screens in between them. Because I'm not gonna lie, like I do love Jubilife Village in Pokemon Legends Arceus, but like I do like the idea of having more towns in the game itself. But if they develop one like really well, like some of like the ones in Sword and Shield that I really liked, that I would have preferred as like the center town as opposed to Moto Stoke, then like I'd be okay with it. But I imagine there will be like a main town, but like they'll still probably have smaller ones sort of spread out. And if that's the case, then I would want them to be sort of like their own kind of contained stories that have like a bunch of side quests. I want to know what side activities are in like this next trailer or like during the direct. I want to know if Pokemon contests and Battle Frontier are coming out. I want to know if there's any chance for DLC, because that's going to be a big factor of whether or not I get invested in this game or not. Okay, I think I've already said gym leaders. So like I want to see what the gym leaders are. I'm hoping at least one of the I mean I want more hot gym leaders. Like I need some like serious bara titties on a dude. Like just like just like choke me energy or something. I need to stop. I probably shouldn't be like saying that out loud on the internet, but I just like I love Pokemon character design, and I need more hot representation in this game. We've already like they've already opened the horny gates with like these two professors. Like they might as well take it an extra step and have like really hot gym leaders too, right? I want to know how the gyms function as well. Specifically how the league is going to function, because like if it's similar to like the league in Galar, that could be kind of fun. Because it kind of looks like there's like stadiums, right? Like from what I saw from the trailer, it looked like it's like heavily like it's still stadium based, which makes me wonder, like, does that mean like the puzzles are gone? It's just gonna be like strictly traversal related, as like a game, and just like combat oriented. Who knows? I'm kind of wondering, with it being like non-linear, how, I mean, just to bring it back to the Pokemon League, like how is it going to work if it's non-linear? I have no idea. So that's something I'd like to know as well. I think I already said Battle Frontier in Pokemon contests, but I am manifesting those to return. Um, I'd like to see more of the cosmetics. I know we saw like some here, but I'd really like to see more. Um, Again, just to see what kind of cute stuff's around. I liked the cosmetics in Legends, but I kind of wish there were more. I definitely wish there were more ethnic hairstyles. Um, just because like it does feel weird that like you're going to give somebody like an option for like a darker skin tone, but then like their character model's hair can't reflect that. Um, you should be able to make something that looks like you or something that resembles the closest thing they can to you. I know that it's not ever going to be like an incredibly detailed character creator in comparison to like other RPGs and games like on the market of this size, but like I would like more than just like two hairstyles that like um that would be able to accurately represent black players. I feel like that's like a fair thing for me to like say. Like, you do have a black fan base. Please don't exclude them as much as like toxic racist fans would love to. Like, don't do that. Don't be toxic, don't be racist. Um and I also want to know how big the world is. I think that will be like my last thing on that list of like what I want from like the trailer. Because I want to know how big the world is. Like, give me like some kind of scale. I don't know how they're gonna do that. Um, I don't know if they're just gonna show like a map of like the overworld and then it sort of like zooms in and then goes to like your player's house and like a cinematic kind of style thing. But I would love to have a sense of like the scale of the world and then like also how many biomes are in this world, because it seemed like there was like a little bit of diversity there from like what I could see from both of the trailers that we have. But I'd still like to know more, so that's what I want out of like the next trailer, direct, whatever video they do on it. Now for what I want from the game itself, what I want from the game itself is I want self-contained stories in like the towns, but like also a good overarching narrative that like keeps you invested. I want mini games, party games, Pokemon contests, Battle Frontier. That stuff was kind of self-explanatory because I was just like, oh, I want to see these in like the direct because I want to see this in this game. Like, no duh. Same thing with more hair inclusivity and like representation. I think would be great. This one's kind of swinging for the fences a little bit. I would love to have like a queer character in Pokemon, or like an openly queer or at least very heavily queer coded character in Pokemon in like a main titled game. And I also want them to be hot. Oh my god, if Professor Turo could be gay, I would love that for me, but I don't think that's a very ambitious swing. I want Sprigatito's final evolution to be like a cat. I want Quaxly's final evolution to be like, I actually want it to be bipedal, and like I want it to be like, I just want it to be like a ripped like duck dude with like bara titties that's like ready to like fight you. I don't think we're gonna get that, but I think that'd be kind of funny. And to throw it in like a little bait for like the monster fuckers out there. I see you. I see you. I also want to see more friends. I want you to, I love the games that like that give you like a broader friend group. I think in general I just like when the games have a good supporting cast, especially if the world is going to be so big. It just feels more populated if like you just had like, especially if the game is going to be non-linear, to just be able to run into like your childhood friends or whatever, or like your character's friends in the world, just sort of like here and there, being like, oh, I'm at this town, like, hey, what's up, kind of deal. I don't know, I just feel like that'd be cute. It'd make the world feel like a little bit more connected, because like I don't know how big this world is supposed to be, like how big the region actually is, But if it is expansive, which I hope it is, because I feel like that would just make the open world quality of it be very fun to explore. Um, then I think having that level of like hominess that comes from having like a solid friend group, or at the very least multiple rivals, because I think multiple rivals are always fun. Like that's what I really liked about Sword and Shield's cast, was that you did have like multiple rivals and they were so different from each other personality wise too. Um, I would love to see not necessarily like a Marnie. Like I don't want to see like a repeat of Marnie, obviously, but like somebody who's like popular and is like a star, just doing this like Pokemon journey thing or whatever, and just being critically acclaimed and like have like a fan base and stands. I know that some people would be like, "That's like, oh god, that's just like a boring repeat. Why would they recycle this character?" It's because it's fun. I think it'd be fun, and like you could still do something different with it. But I don't know. I kind of just liked that there was like a variety of rivals in Sword and Shield. As much as people didn't really love that game in like the story department, I still thought that that part was kind of nice. Um, but at the same, I know that they aged down, or at least it looks like your player character is aged down in comparison to like the past couple of protagonists we've had. I mean, I don't know how old like the Sword and Shield protagonists are, but I know that Legends Arceus, like you're kind of like mid to older teens in it, and that's kind of how they justify you going on this very dangerous adventure. Well, granted, every Pokemon adventure is like a dangerous adventure, um, but I feel like Legends Arceus is like more visibly you are in peril. It's definitely something that was aimed at like kind of the older base of Pokemon fans without obviously pushing the envelope or anything. Because they're never going to make a T-rated Pokemon game. And I hope people like aren't holding their breath for that, because you are going to be holding your breath for a very, very long time, if not forever. And then I guess the last couple of things that I want from the game. So this one I don't think we're gonna get. I would love for like weather and seasons to not be locked by whatever level you're in. I don't think they're gonna give us that kind of like freedom though, which is like, ugh, fine, whatever. But I also want like a day and night cycle that's not locked by like story beats like Sword and Shield was, where like when you go to this town, it's going to be this specific time all the time until you finish the game. Like I don't really want that. I liked Gen 4 having a variety of like day and night stuff to do and have it be based off of like your Switch's clock. But if it has its own in-game clock like Legends Arceus does, where like it comes down to resting and like waiting for certain times of the day for stuff. I think that's probably more accessible for people that don't want to like reset their system's clock all the time, to just be able to like have that um like in game, to be like, oh, this Pokemon is only here from like this time to this time in this area. If I want to catch them, I have to be awake at this time. It's kind of less convenient than being like, I'm going to like within the game, there's going to be a feature built in for like I will like idle in this area for 3 hours like a mentally unwell person for these Pokemon to spawn, you know. So I do want that. I at the very least I want a day and night cycle in the game that's not locked by story progression, which, considering it's supposed to be a non-linear game, I really doubt that that's going to be the case. But yeah, weather, seasons, time, space, I don't know. Those are just like my wants for the game. There's plenty more that I'm just not thinking of right now, but to keep it sort of like, well, quote unquote concise, this has been like almost a 2 hour stream. That's stopped being concise a very, very long time ago. Those are my wants. And for final thoughts, to kind of wrap up everything that I'm feeling about Scarlet and Violet, I don't know how many more times I can say that I'm very excited for it. I I'm almost willing to say this is the most excited I've been for a Pokemon title in a while, but I was really hyped for Legends Arceus, and I didn't feel disappointed by it. Um, I know the visuals aren't perfect. It's like the Switch, so I recognize it has like hardware limitations. But it's like it's not a bad looking game. I'm hoping that I'm hoping that Scarlet and Violet does have some improvements though visually, because like a lot of the foliage didn't really look that great to me. Um, and like this kind of like uh this kind of thing can like work with certain visual styles better than others. Like I feel like Breath of the Wild was really good about hiding hardware limitations behind its art style and its visual style. Um, I think it's harder to do with like the style that they're going with for the Pokemon games, but I'm hoping they can pull it off. I did like the improvements for Legends Arceus. Again, I'm not expecting it to be like a hyper realistic, super impressive looking, beautiful, flawless AAA title kind of game. Even though like it is like it is a title that has lots of money and budget and time behind it. Um, but like at the very least, I just want it to run. I want the multiplayer to run well. If it's like laggy, like Sword and Shield, I'm not going to be a fan. If I have to wait literally like 5 years for somebody to put in their like attack commands, like I did with like the raid battles, I will literally cry. Um, I am wondering if like the raid battles are going to continue, come back, I guess. And then like also, I I'm interested in DLC. If there's like a Kalos state a DLC and like we get to see that region in like 2022, like sort of revived and everything with like new hardware, that could be kind of fun. But I doubt it. And also like I didn't buy the expansions for um for Sword and Shield. I was not interested in them. Um Yeah, I just want it to run well. I want it to look passable. I just want it to be cute. I want the soundtrack to slap, which usually that's a given. Usually this like the soundtrack has rarely disappointed me for the game. Oh god. Well, I know I'm forgetting something. I will remember it literally the second I get off of stream. But as far as I'm concerned, that's all the stuff that I wanted to say about it. Um, Let me know if you're interested in getting it on release, if you're like waiting for the pre-order to drop now. Um, I will probably wait. Even if the incentives have to be really really good for me to want to pre-order it and get it on release, and I haven't really been convinced to do that yet. I haven't been convinced to do that for a while, to be honest. There hasn't really been a game that's like made me feel so urgently like I needed to get it like as it drops. But I'm also like not really like a super gamer. I'm not a pro gamer kind of person. I know that I'll probably get into it more if I like sort of continue with streaming moving forward and I get like a better setup. Like I will probably be interested in games more, but like as is, I'm kind of just like I'm good with like Wild Rift, Legends of Runeterra, my Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley. Like I'm good with the shit that I have. Um and there's still plenty of games I still have to finish. Like I still haven't finished Phantom Brave. I still have to finish Neo the World Ends With You. I know that this is just me name dropping stuff and like nobody cares that like I have like a lot. It's like, oh poor you, you have too many games you don't know what to do with. But like that's my life, okay. This is my truth and this is how I'm choosing to live it. But let me know what your expectations are. If you're gonna get the game. Ooh, actually, which starter are you gonna start with? Like, which one are you choosing? I'm probably gonna stick with Weed Cat personally. Even if the final form is bad, I still love Weed Cat so much. Like, so they will always be my numero uno. But Quaxley is a very close second. So, um, I guess not sponsored, but it comes out November 18th. I'm excited. I hope you're excited too. I guess I'm gonna go now. Since those are all my thoughts, but just friendly reminder to people watching this on YouTube. I streamed this on Twitch, on twitch.tv/girlnextdoor podcasts. I stream at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Mondays, Thursdays, and sometimes Fridays. Drop a follow if you want. I'd say subscribe, but I'm not a partner yet. I'm still new. I'm still a baby Twitch. Please help me grow. With all that being said, I will catch you all next time. Bye.